Entrepreneur Association. The other day I was watching TV and an advert came on which I am sure you will have seen. It was a L'Oreal advert, and at the end the woman said, "Because I'm worth it." And I kind of thought to myself, well actually, how many women actually think they're worth it? How many of us have doubts that we're not good enough and that we're not worth it? And I think probably quite a lot of us. And especially I think as entrepreneurs, we're trying to achieve so much, we've got such big ideas, we've got such big dreams, that sometimes we feel like, am I really worth it? Can I really do this? And it can be a massive problem. And often we end up like self-sabotaging because we don't think we're good enough. And it's crazy. I remember once I gave an invoice out and I reduced the amount so much because that's how little I valued what I was doing. It was crazy, and I think so many of us in business do that. We reduce the amount we charge people because we don't value ourselves enough, because we don't think we're good enough, because we don't think we're worth it. And after I watched this advert, I was having a think about it and I was thinking, why do we do this? Why is it that we lack so much self-worth? I think there are two main reasons why we often don't feel good enough. I think the first reason is that we spend so much of our time comparing ourselves to other people. We look at what other people are doing and we think, how are they so successful? Why can't I be more like that? They've got their life together, they know what they're doing. Why isn't it like that for me? And you look at how perfect people look from the outside, how perfect their life is, how successful their business is, how successful they are, and you just think, why is it not like that for me? Why can't I be like that? Why can't I have it together? And I think we spend so much of our time comparing ourselves, we've forgotten to realise our own self-worth and what we are actually really, really good at. And the truth is that we don't even know how successful those people really are. We don't know what their situation really is. We don't know what goes through their head all the time. We don't know how hard it is for them every single day to get up and do what they do. We just judge from the outside that everything's perfect, and then we use that to crush ourselves and to think that we're not good enough. And it's crazy. So I think that the main thing is just stop comparing yourself to other people. And just focus on what you're good at, what you do, and focus on what your expertise is. So I think the other reason that we often think we're not good enough or we don't value ourselves enough is because we do what we do day in, day out. We know what we know off by heart, and to us it's not amazing information anymore. To us, we already know it. And it's so easy to forget that other people don't know it. And so we almost sometimes feel like we're a bit of a fraud, because to us we think, well, I already know this, and so how can I charge this much for it? But we have to stop doing that, because we have to realise how valuable the information that we have actually is. And someone once told me a really, really great story that I will never forget about, that puts all this into perspective. It's a story about this woman whose radiator's broken. So she calls the local plumber and asks him to go round and to help fix the radiator. So a few minutes later, the plumber turns up on a door with his toolbox. And he goes in and she shows him where the radiator is, and he puts his toolbox down and he starts having a look at the radiator. So he spends a couple of minutes having a look, listening to the radiator, and he says, "Aha, I know what the problem is." So he opens his toolbox and gets out his hammer, and then he very carefully hits the radiator. And like magic, the radiator starts working again. So his lady's like, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing, like it was so quick, thank you so much, how much do I owe you?" So the plumber writes his bill out and hands it to her, and she looks at it and she says, £100? You were here for like 2 minutes, how is it that expensive? And he said, "It cost you £1 for me to hit the radiator with my hammer, and it cost £99 for me to know where to hit the radiator." And I think that really puts everything into perspective. His knowledge, his experience, his expertise on knowing where to hit the radiator, that's what was valuable. That's what cost the money, and he knew his worth. He fixed a radiator for her. And I think so often we forget how valuable our knowledge actually is. So those are my two theories on why I think we often lack self-worth. But overall, I think the key really is that we get to choose what we think, and it's our choice whether we think we're good enough or not. And so we need to make sure that we're making the right decisions, we're making the right choices, and we're choosing to believe that we are worth it. So you either think, "Oh, I'm not worth it." And don't get me wrong, everyone thinks this every now and again, and it's fine. We can't get rid of negative thoughts. They're going to be there. That's just life and that's just human nature. But I think what we do get to choose is how much energy we give those thoughts, like how much time we spend thinking about them. So when you get a feeling of, oh, I'm just not good enough, you just have to stop it. You get the choice as soon as that thought pops into your head to stop it. You can either dwell on it or you can stop it and think, actually no, I am worth this. I know a lot of good stuff, and think about what you are good at and what your value is. So I just really wanted to share that tip with you because I just think it's a massive area that sometimes we have challenges with. I think it's so important for us to remember what we are good at and focus on the things that we can do and the things that where we can add value. And remember that we are worth it, we are good enough, we just need to believe it. So I hope you've enjoyed this tip and I will see you next time. But for more inspiration, advice and articles, go and check out femaleentrepreneurassociation.com. See you next time.